So I am 31 years old, and I just did 6.5 years incarcerated here at NSP in Lincoln and some in Tecumseh. And I guess the biggest destroyer of my life has been addiction, right? Addiction to drugs, money, sex, really anything that I could fill that void with. I used to the extreme, and that led me to my incarceration. My drug addiction did, and I would make these goals that I would just finish what I had, and then that would be the end of it. Or I would go to sleep that night, and that would be the end of it. And I'd wake up a different person, and it never worked out. It's not that I didn't want to; it's just that I couldn't. I started using when I was 11 years old. And, I'm like about 20 years of drug addiction just run rampant in my life. It didn't really matter what anybody else needed or wanted. It was just all about Eli. And it was a very, very lonely place to be. And I've come to Jesus many times in my life, right? The difference is I would feel like most times in the past it's been in a jail cell on my knees. I'm in deep, deep danger, right? I'm in trouble and I need you, right? But I just need you right now, right? Once you get me out of this, then I'll take back the wheel. I have this weird image of, me and Jesus riding into the car together, and he's driving and I'm tuning the radio. And, I looked over at him. I said, you know what? I think I'd like to drive. And he says, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I got it. And he gets in the passenger side and I slide over in the driver's seat, and, he puts his seatbelt on and straps his helmet on, and he says, are you sure you want to do this? And I said, yeah, I think I do. And off we go. I was at the work release center here in Lincoln, and I was getting drug intox write-ups, and I was about to be sent back to prison. And I started going to recovery meetings, right? At first, just because I wanted to make it look like I was doing the next right thing, right? And the more I sat in there and listened to other people, there was one individual, when he spoke, it really hit me here. And so I came to a point where I pulled up on him and I said, hey man, I'm lost. I need some help. There was a handful of things in my life, right, that no other person on this planet knew that I had done, that had been done to me. And I've told myself my whole life that I would never share that with another person. But it came to a point in our relationship where we were able to sit down, just me, him, and a tree. And I let those things go, right? These huge barriers that were keeping me from moving forward, it was like carrying 45-pound weights around my neck for years. And I have had probation officers, judges, lawyers, parents, friends, teachers, all try and get me to turn my life around, to get clean, to stay clean. But nobody could remove that obsession and compulsion to use, right? Until I surrendered and I asked for help. And because of that, my obsession and compulsion to use drugs has been lifted, and I've been clean for a little over 9 months. And that's the truth. I did 6.5 years in prison, and I used the whole time I was in there because I couldn't stop. We will never be good enough, right? That one step out in faith, right, allowed me to get to where I am today, to be sitting here in front of you, ready to make a declaration that I've given my life to the Lord and I'm ready to live for Jesus. I needed his grace. I needed his forgiveness. I needed to know, that he loved me just as the way I was, right? Even as messed up and as lost as I was, that he loved me and that he was waiting for me, to reach out to him and to give my life over. And it only took 31 years. But I've come to learn that the more I put into his hands and let him drive the car, the safer I am. Like I said, he has a plan for my life that's greater than anything that I could imagine. And I want to know what that plan is.